that we founded the Indian Society of Nephrology. At the same time, the Southern chapter of Indian Society of Nephrology was founded in 1971. I was the chairman for the Southern chapter and also founder member of the Indian Society of Nephrology. I am very proud to say that Southern chapter has done its wonderful scientific program by inculcating all scientific papers, actually competing with the Indian Society of Nephrology and sometimes excelling the scientific programs in the Indian Society of Nephrology. So I am very happy that I have started the Southern chapter of Indian Society of Nephrology because Dr. Chuk, who was the founder member of the Indian Society of Nephrology, wanted regional chapter followed by Northern chapter in New Delhi and later on the Western chapter in Mumbai. I think Calcutta has lagged behind for a long time to start the nephrology chapter. I am very proud to say that members of the Southern chapter of Indian Society of Nephrology were very active. They presented papers in the Southern chapter as well as in the Indian Society of Nephrology, and they are very active, and the number has grown, particularly in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala and Andhra Pradesh. I feel that they have excelled the members of the Indian Society of Nephrology in the scientific arena. I am very proud to say that people like J.C.M. Shastri, Thomas Matthew and all others which I failed to name all the members of the Southern chapter were contributing to the scientific sessions in the Indian Society of Nephrology as well as in the Southern chapter of Indian Society of Nephrology. I am very proud to say that the members of the Southern chapter are very active and they not only participated in the Southern chapter meeting but also in the Indian Society of Nephrology and the International Society of Nephrology. Thank you.
I am Dr. B.R. Nammalwar, pediatric nephrologist by profession. I am just saying a few words about the Southern chapter, the Indian Society of Pediatric Nephrology. The Southern chapter is the brainchild of Professor M.S. Ambaresan, my teacher. Years back, the Indian Society of Nephrology used to have half-a-day session along with the API, the Association of Physicians of India. Dr. Chuk, who was the president at that time, somehow managed to get out from place from that association. The Indian Society of Nephrology used to have half-a-day session along with the APA, the Association of Physicians of India. But Dr. Chuk later on was able to get out from that division and have his own Indian Society of Nephrology meet for 3 days. And Dr. the inauguration of the Southern chapter. I was able to get permission from Dr. Chuk to start the Southern chapter of the Indian Society of Nephrology. It was started in 1982. Dr. Chuk inaugurated the commencement of the chapter, and Hande, Health Minister, presided over the meeting, and there were about 100 to 200 delegates at that time. Subsequently, every year we have been having a meeting regularly, and now it has gone to a large extent. And happy to note that the association is trying to start and celebrate the.
Hello, I'm happy. I've been asked by Brahman, my whole curriculum, nephrology, and also I'm very happy that somebody good is being done when nephrology. I'm going back to 30 to 40 years when I first time used the word nephrology in 1976. I was introduced by Dr. V.N. Wagre, who is the first nephrologist in the state to use, because before that I never heard the word nephrology and medical treatment for kidney failure. I am glad to tell you that Dr. Wagre is the first trained nephrology in UK, and under him, and I was introduced in 1974 to 76. If you ask me, the first recognized nephrologist of Andhra Pradesh and trained by Dr. Manchester in England. I was trained in for 4 years from 74 to 76. And if I may use the word, the first recognized, actually not the first, but the second nephrologist after V.N. Wagre was the first trained nephrologist in Andhra Pradesh, and following him in 76 came back from England and started department of nephrology in Manchester, UK. And I am proud to say today all over in many parts of the country we have nephrology, and I am glad to see it has come up all over the world as one of the leading specialty training. And I can tell you, and I am happy to tell you, I am proud today to see the nephrology grown all over all countries, as well as any part of the Western world. I am glad Brahman told me today about it, and I wish my best wishes, and also the well-being for renal failure. Today I see the nephrology training in India and all other parts of the world as good as anywhere in the world. I am happy and proud that nephrology department is so well as good as any best department of nephrology. All my best wishes. I am happy to all of you doing well, and I wish you all many more success. And I promise I am very happy and proud that nephrology in Hyderabad and in India is as good as any other part in the world. My best wishes to all of you, and I will be happy to contribute anything good now and in the future. And I am proud to notice that nephrology in Hyderabad and in India is as good as anywhere in the world. All the best wishes to you.
Thank you, Manjusha, for asking me to say a few words about the southern chapter of the Indian Society of Nephrology. I've been associated with this right from its very first meeting, which took place in the in a hot and humid lecture hall in Madras Medical College when Professor Amaresan had two overseas guests, Professor Neil Kurtzman and his wife, Dr. Sandra Sabatini. And the meeting was chaired by Dr. Sam G.P. Moses, a very famous diabetologist and physician of Madras. Dr. K.S. Chugh, I think, was the only person from outside the southern zone who was there at the meeting. And that really was the birth of the southern chapter. And this happened just 9 years after the Indian Society of Nephrology was formed, and two decades after the International Society of Nephrology. And I'm really happy that to see the growth of this organization. We were the first regional chapter to be formed, and consistently we have had meetings every year, except during this horrible COVID epidemic. We have had meetings every year which have been well attended, with increasing number of participants and a very high degree of academic caliber of the meetings. The other point, I think, is that, which is often not really appreciated, is that nephrology services in the country really originated and continues to be of the southern states have continued to provide a leadership role in nephrology. The number of training centers, the number of transplants, and so I think it is a matter of great pride for us that we are able to achieve this much. So I think with this, I would like to stop with just wishing the organizers and the conference all the best, and certainly look forward to being there in between the 9th to the 11th of February. Thank you very much.
It's a new venture that we are embarking on about the story of the Southern Chapter. Chaco has given the beginning of Southern Chapter. Subsequent conferences were held. Second conference was held after Chennai. It was Calicut, and after Calicut it was CMC Vellore, and after CMC Vellore, the meeting was actually in a very godforsaken place called Kotten, where I was working. Only 30 or 35 people, total attendance was only 30 or 35. We had a very useful academic session, and thereafter the meeting has been held in various other state capitals and various other smaller centers in this southern region, as well as some of the tourist areas like Kodaikanal, Goa, etc., etc. This has been, as Chaco mentioned, a unique opportunity for these members and physicians in the southern area to get interested in nephrology, and we have been able to stimulate many physicians interested in nephrology to take nephrology as a career. The growth of the association has been phenomenal. We have also laid the foundation for a technicians association during a meeting in Tirupati when I was the chairman of the Southern Chapter, where the technicians were given a half-a-day program, and now they have grown into an independent organization and having their own meetings. I think now will be the 28th or 29th year of the Southern Chapter, or 41, I don't remember the date. And the meeting is arranged in a very elaborate way in Hyderabad. We all would like to attend the meeting and let it be a great success.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. As a member of the organizing committee of this forthcoming conference, first let me welcome you all, or extend to you a warm invitation to attend this meeting at Hyderabad, which is the 43rd. Am I right that Manju has said? I was not involved. I was not the primary, when the Southern Chapter was formed, I heard because I was not in that meeting, that a few people like Dr. Amaresan, Dr. Gopal Kishan and others just talked about it under a tree in one of the conferences, and that was how the meeting, the Southern Chapter meeting, the idea to start a Southern Chapter evolved, and I have been attending most of the Southern Chapter meetings, and also we have been attending the Indian Society of Nephrology meetings, and I'm proud to say, as all of us who are here today would concur with me, that Southern Chapter conferences have been definitely academically outstanding, and we have had very good meetings in the past, and we hope that this trend will continue with the bifurcation of Southern Chapter is one of those conferences, chapters where there is a lot of camaraderie, there is no infighting. Since the split of Andhra Pradesh, we have now 5 chapters, and it's been going on regularly according to the not the seniority, the way it should happen. And I'm happy that Southern Chapter is one of the most vibrant and active chapters, and with the youngsters now, so much this was never there in the past. So future social media. So I think what Manju is organized today is probably that this will be coming in the social media. I have no idea about the social media, but nevertheless, with the vibrant young nephrologists, I'm sure the future of the chapters is very bright, and I'm hopeful that the Southern Chapter is going to be a chapter which others should emulate, and I wish the forthcoming Southern Chapter all success, and once again welcome you all to Hyderabad.
Vanakkam, I am from Chennai, Dr. Mrs. Muthu Jayaraman. I am one of the earliest member of Southern Chapter. Actually, you can say we are the founder members. Myself, Dr. Namalwar, Soundararajan and Bala Singh were there with Professor Amaresan. It was a dream project of Professor Amaresan to start a separate chapter for southern states. It was initiated because ISN was growing in big way, and the academic content was increasing in the whole country, and ISN is not able to accommodate all this academic content. So Professor Amaresan wanted a sister concern from the ISN and wanted to start the Southern Chapter, and it was concurred by Professor Gopalakrishnan, Dr. Thomas Matthew, Professor Sastry, and all 4 Southern. At the time, only 4 states. Now we have 1 extra, and also Pondicherry is also included into this. And it was started, and the inauguration was, as Sundar said, Dr. Chako said, it was a grand affair, done in a small way in Madras Medical College seminar hall. And at the time, we had ever since, every year we have the conference, and it is growing in leaps and bounds. And the academic content is enormous, and we are enjoying a kind of large participation in the academic world from the southern states, where a lot of work are going on. And every year we have an international faculty in the conference, and to tell few names: Jill Strand, D.N. Kerr, Gwen Williams, and Christopher Vlog, and so many others. And every year we used to have them, and there is an international collaboration with some of them later on. So I'm so happy to see that 43rd conference is being held now, and I wish, and there is enormous activity going on. We can see from the various messages we are getting from there. I wish them a great success and congratulate all the organizing committee for their great work. Thank you very much.
Please go ahead, sir.
At the outset, I'd like to thank the Hyderabad team and Telangana team for the hospitality they are shown and all the courtesy shown to the rest of the members of the society, especially to me, to elect me as a president for the Indian Society of Nephrology Southern Chapter for this term. I think looking back my days in 1980 when I was a junior most registrar in Madras Medical College, and when under Professor, my guru, Professor Amresan, a few seats were sown to start this society. I am humble enough to say that I am one of the 8th or 7th signatories for starting the Southern Chapter to take it forward to the registrar to get a registration done along with our seniors like Professor Nammalwar, Dr. Muthujayaraman, Dr. Bala Singh and Dr. Muthusevdi was there, and Dr. Thomas Matthew was at Calicut at that point of time. I recall my days when we had the inaugural session being addressed by Dr. K.S. Chugh as an invited speaker. And the previous day, I have to spend the whole night in a nearby press editing last-minute printing out of the souvenir, which we could bring it only by 8:30. The session was supposed to start at 9:30. And I remember the words of Dr. K.S. Chugh appreciating the efforts of the senior members like Professor Amresan and Muthusevdi, Thomas Matthew and others to start the society in the portals of Madras Medical College in the auditorium. I think I remember the words he used. His own disciple, Professor Amresan, he described him as a dynamic person, most dynamic person, and that he also used the adjective saying that he is known for his aggressive dynamism. I'm sure he is producing his next generation also on that line, and with all academic strength and vigor to face the society and serve the society and nephrologists tomorrow. I think I recall my first meeting, in the Indian Southern Chapter meeting, was conducted with the CME and with the local talents invited from people like Professor Gopal Krishnan came, Dr. Thomas Maiti came, rightly Patrus Matai, Dr. Kasi, and Jacob Jacob from CMC Vellore, Akshay Shim Sastri also was there. I think recall the first annual conference in Calicut. At that time, I remember Dr. Anila as a young child and his brother going to the convent with the uniform. The same car he came and dropped in the hotel and we listened. And the return journey on those days was only by train. And that time, I remember traveling with Professor K.S. Krishnan and others in the same coach which we traveled from Calicut to Chennai. I think the real enthusiasm and the cooperation seen among the southern states at that point of time was as a competitive spirit to Indian Society of Nephrology in the sense that it should be done with academic excellence and full understanding and cooperation among all the centers to go by turns. I'm happy that our Dr. Girish and Dashamurthy pointed out the democratic way the elections have been conducted with no heartburns to anybody, and every state has got his own share and contribution in the past. And I think we have grown from a meeting of 10 to 15 or 20 people, now it's 100 or even 2,000. That's the way it has grown up. I'm very much happy about it. I'm sure the team in Hyderabad, which is waiting to host you in February 9th, will do the best. I invite you all to take part on this occasion, to enjoy the hospitality of Telangana state, especially the Hyderabad team. I'm sure I'm really jealous about all the comradeship you maintain in Hyderabad and compared to many years. I think that's very. I think I should not keep my evil eyes on that. I think excellent cooperation. All the best to you. Welcome to Hyderabad. Thank you.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. I was just trying to listen to and recollect our golden memories of the early 80s and 90s, whereas everybody is pointing out Southern Chapter has been known for its cordial relationships. And more important, apart from the delegates, the family members of the Southern Chapter members were most of the time they were also participating in the meeting. And I remember one of the earlier meetings was with Dr. Kasi in his place at Kottayam. And then he organized a small trip to Tekadi for our sightseeing and other things. So that was some of the early memories I have of gathering for the Southern chapter. But what I always, as Dr. Dakshinamurthy and everybody was pointing out, Southern chapter is known for its academic activities and academic contents. It will be wrong on my part to compare it with the ISN, but everybody used to agree that the scientific content of the Southern chapter was most of the times on par, or probably I should not use the term, but better than what we used to have it in ISN. So that is how we made a very humble but a consistent beginning, and the exchange of ideas, the exchange of and the personal relationship which we developed with all of our other colleagues from other southern states was something which we fondly remember even now. So, and the tradition is continuing, as Dr. Dakshinamurthy pointed out. Elections have always been very cordial, and working, our general body, so-called general body meeting was more of a formality. All of us remember how turbulent some of the parent ISN meeting used to be those days. So, in striking contrast was the Southern chapter. I still remember the participation of our seniors like Amresan, Thomas Matthew, Patras Matazam, who is no longer with us, and all these people used to contribute positively for the various ideas for the functioning of the Southern chapter. And I am sure with the help of all our seniors and the present batch, Southern chapter is doing a very good job. And I wish all the members who are here all the best for the new year. And more important, I'd like to invite all of you for the forthcoming Southern chapter in Hyderabad. And the organizing committee is making all efforts to see that apart from the scientific content, your stay and other activities are also taken care of. I welcome you again back to Hyderabad for the forthcoming conference. Thank you. Good night.
I am Dr. Pradeep Deshpande, formerly principal of Gandhi Medical College, as well as professor and head of the department of Gandhi Medical College. Also, I was holding the post of professor and HOD Kaminini Medical College, and I was additional director of medical education, and I was principal Gandhi Medical College. I was formerly associated with the society in the form of National President of the Indian Society of Nephrology, Chairman of the Indian Society of Nephrology Southern Chapter. I have chaired various symposium as well as various lectures in various conferences held by South Zone of Indian Society of Nephrology as well as the National Society of Nephrology. I have also attended various international conferences and participated in that. My association with Southern Chapter goes back from 1984, when the third conference was held in the CMC Vellore. I was a student at that time, and I was asked to speak suddenly, impromptu, on a symposium on urinary tract infection, and I feel I have done reasonably well. I have attended most of the Southern Chapter conferences, and I am proud to say that Southern Chapter is very active amongst all the zones of the National Society of Nephrology. I was executive member of the National Society of Indian Society of Nephrology, and the present membership is 2,261, and most of the members are South Zone. Not only they are just members, they are also actively participating in various academic and research activities, and I am proud to say South Zone is doing a very good job, and I am happy to be associated with the present conference which is being held in Taramati Baradari, and I congratulate all the organizing committee members for taking active part and putting all the efforts for the same. We were fortunate in having various international speakers for the Southern Chapter. I remember to have had the guest speaker, Professor Shire, Professor Eli Friedman, who was instrumental as a nephrologist for former Chief Minister Channa Reddy, Professor Uldal, Professor Malik, Professor Glassock, and so many eminent nephrologists from abroad, including the transplant-related subjects, and they have helped us and our students in developing their academic pursuit towards the greater goal of improving nephrology in India. Initial phase of nephrology, as you know, was very primitive in type. We had hardly few centers which were performing dialysis. In Hyderabad, there were hardly 1 or 2 centers, one in private in Mahavir Hospital and one in the government hospital in Usmania Medical College hospital. So there was no water treatment plant. And the whole thing used to be very difficult, and even transplant was very difficult proposition. And as you know, the first transplant which was done in Usmania Hospital in 1982, 16th May, the recipient as well as donors are doing well with normal renal function. So academically, the whole society is progressing very fast, and the research activity is also in very much progress. And I am very happy to be associated with the Southern chapter, as well as in the National Society. I was holding the post of President of the Society in 2016, and I also worked in various executive membership, and I'm very happy to convey you my best wishes for the present conference, which is being held from 8th February onwards. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Manjusha. I think all the seniors have already told about the past history, but I would like to mention that the Southern Chapter membership is a very cordial membership, and we have proved, the Southern states have proved that we are pioneers in many fields of the nephrology, be it renal transplantation, hemodialysis, peritoneal dialysis, deceased donor transplantation. We have proved our mettle. Also, I can say that even in the mass dialysis or the hepatocellular failure, we are the pioneers in the southern states. So, we have excellent scientific material, clinical material, research material in the southern states, which, and as Sundar has already said, the scientific program of the Southern chapter is far superior to many of the programs in the country, and maybe in certain international fora as well. And the elections, one thing that the elections in the Southern chapter are always a cordial event, and there is a good camaraderie. As Sundar has pointed out, that we have a very good camaraderie. And I remember traveling with Dr. Shastri, Dr. Chako to the meetings in Southern chapter, maybe in Indian Society of Nephrology also, in the second class sleeper coaches, and sharing the food brought by Sri Vishwanathan and his family together, and attending the conferences. As Dr. Kashi said, in small hotels and small places, we used to stay and present our material in the conferences. And we have certainly enjoyed those days, the earlier days. Now probably it's more posh looking at atmosphere, but I really appreciate this organizing committee. Though I am the part of it, but still the real core organizing committee, that they have taken up a place, the Taramati Baradari, which is a very historical place and also a simple place and economical place. And we have certainly are going to have a good academic as well as a cultural feast in this conference. And this organizing committee has already been pointed out, has brought new vibes into the organization of the e-conference to the social media, which we are seeing first time these aspects in the Southern chapter. And I think probably this will go further on in propagating the nephrology, creating awareness in the public and also in the government organizations to benefit nephrology. And as the part of the organizing committee, I welcome you all for attending this a sumptuous feast of the academic, cultural, and hospitality of the Telangana, the youngest member state of the Southern chapter of Indian Society of Nephrology. We welcome you.
Indeed, a great privilege and a proud moment for me to be a part of this wonderful meeting where my senior teachers who inspired me into nephrology are participating. One of the first meetings I attended was led by the brilliance of various professors who are here: Chako sir, Kachi sir, Krishna Kumar sir, Thomas Matthew sir, Gopalakrishnan sir, Shastri sir. I was always wondering whether I could do any justice to the profession which they had been so wonderfully practicing. Now we know this shining history has been emanated with great panache, and the members of Southern chapter have become leaders, national leaders in all platforms of nephrology, whether it is clinical, dialysis, transplant, or interventional nephrology. Earlier, the only form of communication was through telephone, or we were attended the conferences. Now we know that Manjusha is so active in social forum that there are so many interactions occurring in all platforms, so we could easily clarify our doubts, get the problems discussed. I am sure the budding nephrologists who are inspired by the stalwarts in nephrology will carry this mantle forward and take this society to great future. What do I visualize? It should be the activity of Southern chapter in future. I think we should stress on preventive nephrology. If the Southern chapter could lay some targets for various states for some screening activities and say so many populations should be screened and we should be able to project it, that should be of great help in identifying the problems early and execute preventive measures. With this, I am sure that Southern chapter will grow to higher, fly with great colors. I wish and pray that the activities of Southern chapter will be.
Thank you, Manjusha, and the organizers of the Southern chapter in Hyderabad for asking me to talk on some history of Southern chapter with particular emphasis on Karnataka. As Dr. Chako rightly said, I remember being part of the Southern chapter meeting in 1983 when I joined Vellore. The first meeting I actually remember which Kasi described. I even remember the guest house, Pallattara guest house, the great guest house where we had Dr. Amarayasan and I think the conference was organized by Patros Mathai and Thomas Matthew. And that was my first actual meeting of any nephrology conference in my life. And I remember presenting a topic, hypokalemia in hospital setting, recommended by Dr. Meshak, my guru in Vellore. And after that, if you see, the Southern chapter has grown so much. And as Dr. Muttus and Anuradha said, we were the Southern chapter, the first chapter in the entire ISN. If you look at the regional chapters, I think that has not been emphasized. The first chapter, regional chapter of the ISN was Southern chapter. In fact, at some point of time, the Southern chapter meetings were far superior, I would say, than even the ISN meeting. And independently, the Southern chapter itself has sponsored people for the ISN fellowship, which was like that. And now we have a lot of meetings going on in different places. And I was very fortunate to organize the 1986 Southern chapter meeting in Bangalore. And we had the chief guest, Dr. Christopher Black, visiting us. And then we have Dr. Venkateshwar Rao, who also visited us as the chief guest. After that, we have had many meetings in Karnataka, we have had in Mysore, we had in Goa, Bangalore, few meetings. And what I can say is, from Karnataka point of view, Karnataka was one of the probably the last in all the states to start a training program by Dr. Balal in 1999. So many of us nephrologists have been trained outside, be it in CMC Vellore or Chennai, Madras Medical College, or various institutions. So, Southern Chapter as a whole, the group has helped us a lot. But for me, on a personal note, I must mention this point that in 1995, when we had a very bad incident in Karnataka, where all the nephrologists in Karnataka were accused by the local police and the media of stealing kidneys, it was the Southern Chapter which actually helped us. A lot of people ask, what does any society do? Southern Chapter is one chapter where Professor Gopal Krishnan and Dr. Nammal were at that time secretary, flew down to Bangalore, met the Commissioner of Police and explained in detail what is kidney transplant, how such a scam cannot occur involving a nephrologist. And we are grateful that way to the Southern Chapter. I think in any chapter, apart from academics, that is there in all meetings, we have to have that. But it is the camaraderie which all of us keep talking. So I'm proud to be part of the Southern Chapter. I started as a young student in CMC Vellore under Professor Chako, Dr. Shastri and Dr. Meshak. And to have reached a stage where I even became the chairman of the Southern Chapter 6 years ago, it's a great privilege and honor for me to be part of this elite group. And I wish the Hyderabad meeting grand success. And as one of these mentors, or I would say dinosaur nephrologists, we are proud to be part.
It's a wonderful occasion to see you all. And I thank Manjusha and other team members to organize this sort of innovative things so that there is a forum to exchange our own ideas, and if there are any possibilities to improve the program further in the last minute, it is still possible. But as I hear from all the seniors that everything is going well, and honestly there is nothing from my side to add. This only reminds us that in 2001 or 2002, when we have conducted in Tirupati, how much of tension, how much of strain that we had to take because our team was so small, myself, Padmanabhan and Hiteshi. But the time went by, it is almost about 24 years now, or 22 years. And the quality, the commitment and the vision of the present day teams is really excellent. And they have a lot of enthusiasm to bring in all the people together and organize it in a much better way. So with these few words, I have nothing to add. I only pray God that everything should go well. And it's a great opportunity for all of us to meet. Thank you.